I'll be reacting to Love All Play episode 6. I'll be watching it from Crunchyroll's website, and I'll be starting off my reaction in 1-0, go. Oh, hell yeah. Enter high, Kanagawa Correctional Qualifier. Alright, hopefully our boys can make it. Oh. Hell yeah. And saying that, it does feel like something in the series is going on a little too quick, though, with the way it handles matches. But, I mean, since it isn't focusing on our main boy, I can sort of let that pass. I mean, you also getting first. It's to be expected. Like, the dude is such a beast. I'll be damn surprised if there was a moment where he gets second place. I'm just saying, with the way they've built him up. Oh man, this opening. Man, I love it. Definitely one of the best ways to just start one of the best ways starting off the day is watching like a nice, energetic anime opening like this. Now, in saying that, I do hope that future episodes of the series learn to slow things the fuck down, though. Only because, like, sometimes whenever a character achieves something, it doesn't feel as substantial because they just skip through their matches. That's really one of the flaws about this series. Like, sometimes I feel like there's episodes where they can spread out the content of a specific episode into 2 episodes if they really wanted to. Which is probably like the only sports anime this season that I feel that way, because Birdie Wing, that feels properly paced for a golf anime. And there's another sports anime, Phantom of Adolescence, that paces things pretty well too. And that's also another sports anime this season. Or now it's back. Huh. I love he says, Love All Play, which is the title of the anime. Oh man, it's just so fitting hearing that. I mean, honestly, Oko actually dominant considering the hype he had in like the previous, well, in some of the previous episodes anyway. I gotta admit, I do like that opponent like Yokikawa was going up against, though. Damn. Yo, Yuasa looks like he's ready to fucking slap the dude. But then again, I mean, it makes sense since Yuasa has high expectations for himself. He probably expects everyone else to fucking do their part. I gotta admit though, the music here sounds damn nice. But in saying that, the way they portray the matches it's not well done because literally for this episode, you can tell it's lower budgeted because it's not wide shots like some of the previous episodes are. A bunch of stills. Or it just there's a lot of animation frames being skipped as if there's some key animation, but you lack some in between animation to make it look super smooth. Again, there's more damage since I watched Salaryman's Man's Club, which is again embodiment on anime that aired last season from Light and Works that was beautifully animated from last season. The animation quality in this series stands out here, but it stands out here a lot more negatively. But when you see shit like this, it kind of makes you wonder, this is sports anime, like, you would at least expect more effort from the animators. Okay, finally, we're getting some decent animation. At least they're giving the twins some actually cool looking visuals, at the very least. Because it's more than just still shots and the camera just focusing on like their main bodies, and that's about it. And at least there's some wide shots too. Oh. The thing in sports though is sometimes to win you gotta focus what's on. You gotta focus on what's in front of you instead of what's ahead of you. And that's what's gonna be damning towards them. At least that's my gut feeling as to how the Twins are gonna win, aside from also their skill. Oh. Oh fuck. I hope that's something like spraying himself or something. Or maybe you're just gonna do something. Ah! Damn, that fucking hurt to watch. But in saying that, this is actually, even though this loss. Oh. And now that's gonna sting like both times. They could have brought it home. It's just. Whoa, it's one of the few instances where we see the Twins actually get on each other, too. Now, this is the type of shit I've been hoping the series is going to do since, like, some of the early episodes of the series. Some actual adversity that our main protagonists have to actually go through and work through. Yeah, it's way too out. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even close that time. Oh boy. Again, though, it's like I'm glad that the shows the twins lose, but it's like they're building up Yuasa and freaking. Not just that, they build up Yuasa and Yoko's dynamic. Boy, it's just a shame we never get to see it dominate, though. Like again, the moments with the twins in this episode were great, but it's like, how are they gonna make me get hyped up about Yuasa and Yoko stuff if they just skip it? It's like, holy shit. Yuasa's a pretty important character in the series, considering Yuasa talks a lot of shit. It's just a damn shame we didn't get to see it. This episode just is feeling like it's going way too fucking quick. Ooh, boy, that ain't good whenever someone wants to avoid the problems. But not that I blame them, though. Because sometimes there's just certain things you don't want to talk about. But that's realistic, though. Even like some professional athletes also fall under big pressure, too. Like, the only way we can really deal with it is just getting in a more pressure-filled situation until you get used to it. Or sometimes some athletes don't really adapt to it that well. Huh. And no one would blame for being scared because it's like everyone's all riding on you. Fuck. I'm guessing they did. Yeah. But the Yoji's a different question. I mean, he's a different question, though, because it's like Misra did run away from baseball. Yeah, I can definitely tell the one with like the less happier smile is probably Yoji. Oh boy, I hope our boys get their revenge here. I do like the way the sweat's animated in the episode. At the very least, we get to see sweat on their faces because some sports animes don't bother with that. Again, the episode hasn't been doing exceptional stuff, but at least it looks decent. Kind of felt though that the doubles that the twins had though, these matches. Oh, what the? Yo, it feels like he completely lost it there. And something I like in too subtly, I like how they actually bounce off of the character development Natsu had in one of the previous episodes where we see him warming up to some of the others. That's actually pretty nice seeing him on the stands there, alongside the others to watch the twins play. I feel like they use the same animation where, and the same facial expression too, when he's utilizing the body minton racket. But at the very least, we're seeing them twins more in sync with each other. Oh! Okay, those two boys look like they're about to collapse. But then again, at the very least, their opposition looks close to collapsing too, though. Seriously, though, what's like the massive amounts of stills, though? Yes! You know shit's true when even someone like Matsu is getting hyped up. Oh, fuck. I mean, when you're always getting hyped up like that, there's no way they can disappoint their boys. And saying that, it really does feel like I'm watching a bunch of PowerPoint presentation stills and certain bits in the episode. Oh, that looked like it was in. But you know what? At the very least, it's an end result the twins can be satisfied with, at the very least, though. I swear, I love how Yusa, oh. I just love how they make Yuasa and Yoko so fucking beastly. But in saying that, this episode really rushed things because it's like you literally went from like one of the twins being nervous about pressure through just a few minutes afterwards, he got used to pressure more used to pressure immediately that when it came to like Yoji. It felt like the pacing was a little bit too abrupt in the episode. Oh yeah, man, that was just kind of adorable. Like I used to when it said Arigato. Oh man. Even though the Bonnie Minton stuff in this episode they fucked up, at the very least, the character dynamics and the characterization is still well done. The thing is, it's a freaking sports anime though, so it doesn't just have to do the dynamics. Well, it has to do the sport-related material. It has to do it pretty well too, which it isn't really doing it well. At least not in this episode. No, that okay. Now I mean, this scene is fucking good because it was putting in doubts as to Yoji's reasoning as to why he went into Bonnie Minton in the first place. So to hear him actually say he loves it, that is actually some substantial character development there. Oh, yo, it's gonna be hype as shit, yo. I just hope we get to actually see them go up against Saitama Futaba though, and not just let's just have most of the match happen off screen, or just have Yuasa and Yoko just take care of it off screen. That'd be on some that's some bullshit. But overall, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. This is the first Love All Play episode that I didn't really like at all, and let me explain why. Pacing was way too abrupt. Literally, I felt like this material could have been spread out over 2 episodes because they hype up Yuasa so much. It's kind of a disappointment that we didn't, at the very least, get to see him involved in a single match on screen for a significant amount of time. At least showing his pairing duel with Yoko for at least 2 minutes. We didn't get to see that. And my issue with this episode was the Bonnie Minton. Like, they literally reused a lot of the animation, a lot of stills, so it made all the Bonnie Minton sequences unentertaining, save for like maybe that first match that the twins had in this episode. That's about it. But the Bonnie Minton action was fucked up. And then you literally had in one bit, Yoji had a personal struggle, and I'm like, all right, this shit's interesting. Then the next moment, he gets that personal struggle is gone because, he can deal with pressure now. I'm like, wait, what the fuck? You gave a character an emotional issue to deal with, and then you just completely resolve it all off screen because afterwards he's able to play the match pretty fucking well, as if his emotional problems are gone. So it kind of feels they botched some character arcs in this episode too by going too quick. At least it's focusing on. At least the next episode's going to focus on more interesting characters, though. And it looks like I'm finally going to get my wish in the next episode because they're going to give Yuasa and Yoko a good amount of focus and some actual adversity, too. Which this episode badly needs. Considering that there wasn't really enough of Yuasa or Yoko, the series really needs to compensate for that in future episodes, and it seems like the next episode's going to do it pretty soon, hopefully. But yeah, this episode though, it was just too abruptly paced, and that's why I feel, even though there was some decent character moments, like it was nice learning about Yoji's weakness in dealing with pressure. Like, don't get me wrong, it was nice. I just wish we would have get to see this episode split up in both halves so that we can see Yoji work on himself a bit more, so that when they're in a higher stakes match and he gets a little bit more confidence, it feels more substantial, at least more substantial than the way this episode handled it. And that's pretty much my issue with this episode too, from a character standpoint. It's like, yeah, we get good characterization and all that kind of jazz, but it's like, just feels too abrupt. And I almost forgot to mention the other sports anime that that's doing things pretty well this season. It's also called the other one Aoshi, which is a soccer anime. So really, this season there's just so many other better done sports anime that Love All Play stands out, but it stands out negatively because at least off the sports anime I'm watching this season, it feels like the one that's the most abrupt, and it feels like it's the one with like the weakest production values overall. Which it's a shame, but this season does have some damn good quality sports anime. And just off of this episode, oof, this series is not catching up with its contemporaries, at least not for this season. Hell, it's a good thing this series didn't air last season because that would have been fucking harder on this episode, considering that it would have been airing alongside Salaryman's Club, which that Body Minton anime was finally done. But yeah. So I'd say I already know my thoughts on the animation. It was fucking bad. And they even reused a bit of animation too. So that was also one of the downsides of the episode also. Well, another downside. But voice acting was great, and the music utilized in this episode was well done. So that's why, even though there were a significant amount of downsides to this episode, if I had to rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being abysmal, 5 being average, 10 being exceptional, I'll give it a 4.75 out of 10. It still gets enough to where I'm like, yeah, I'm still going to rate this episode a bit below average, only because there were positives in this episode. And I felt like if they could have just split the events in this episode into 2 episodes, I'd be like, yeah, this episode would have been literally some 8 or 10 out of 10. Well, 8 out of 10 tier shit, or even 9 out of 10 tier shit, if the Body Minton animation would have been better too. But yeah, that's my issues with this episode. Just the bad pacing really soured my enjoyment. But at least the next episode off of the preview looks like it's gonna right the ship, hopefully. But anyways, y'all, these are my thoughts on the episode. I'd love to hear your thoughts on how I feel about my reaction or the episode itself in the comment section below. Hope y'all rate the video, share it, comment, and subscribe. And thank y'all so much for watching my reaction, everyone. Bye-bye.